Twin Stevens, and I'm here today with Arthur Mack. He writes for Citronelle Call, and I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself today.
Yes, Tan, I am Arthur L. Mack. I write for the Call News, which is a weekly newspaper based in Citronelle. The paper itself has been in existence since 1897, and I've been writing for them for the last 3 years.
Can you tell me, working with media, how that has played a role in your career?
Oh, it's played a lot of roles in my career. I've been able to meet a whole lot of people, and besides writing for the Call News, I've written for several other publications over a 30-plus year period. And during that time, I've had a chance to cover a lot of events, particularly sporting events, as well as covering various news stories, covering city council meetings, and meeting a lot of people and getting their stories, talking to them, and just in general, learning about what makes them tick and getting the word out there about their stories.
When it comes to pros and cons, working in the field of mass communication, what would you like to get the listeners that's listening to this interview to understand about media when it comes to the pros and cons?
Well, there are many pros, Tan. One pro is that you're giving them information. You're letting people know what's going on. People rely on the media to get stories about various things that have happened. There's always that thirst for knowledge as to what happened in a particular instance. And with us being in the media, it gives us an opportunity to tell them what happened, from an unbiased point of view. Now, another pro is that we're here to perform a service. Being involved in mass communications, whether it's print or electronic media, you are sort of an individual that people will rely on. They are relying on individuals to give them the proper information, because you don't want to get information third hand. And the role that we play as far as mass communication is concerned is a very vital role. I've heard people talk bad about the media, and there have been some instances where those criticisms were warranted. But imagine a world without media at all. If you had no newspapers, if you had no television stations, if you had no radio stations, how would people get their information? Think about it. They would not be able to get their information at all. They would have to get it third hand or make up some stuff. And we don't want them to do that. We don't want people to just speculate. We want people to have facts in their hand, or listen, have them listening to them or read them.
Right.
And you talked about cons earlier. One of the challenges that somebody, especially me, there are some long hours involved. You have to go to a lot of meetings. You have to cover a lot of meetings, and working on stories, can be a tedious task. If you don't have everything just right, it's going to create a problem. So you have to sit down. You have to rely on speed and accuracy. Sometimes if it's a complex story that may take some time to develop, you're going to be working some long hours, make no mistake about it. You could be up in the wee hours of the night, especially if it's a special feature that you're working on a particular event or a particular person. And the challenge is that, hey, it's going to take some time. And then if you're covering various meetings, it could take anywhere from maybe 30 minutes to well over 2 or 3 hours. And if you have to go to 2 or 3 meetings in a particular day and get information on those meetings, it could become challenging as far as a time frame is concerned.
Right.
And news is 24 hours a day. Sometimes people in the media don't have bona fide days off. They may have some rest periods, but they don't have bona fide days off because news is happening all the time. There may be a shooting or a fire or something else that goes on, late at night or during the week or during a weekend. Hey, somebody has to do it, so people will be informed of what's going on.
Okay, working for Citronelle Hall, can you share with the listeners about some of the things you guys are doing positive in the community? I know that media has been known for only putting out bad, negative stories. What do you guys do that could actually override that myth?
Well, one of the positive things we've done is cover a lot more high school sports. We expanded our coverage into the city of Mobile some time ago, and we figured in order to get our footprint in the community, particularly within the Mobile city limits, we had to do more sports, particularly football, and we were able to do that. We gave recaps of various games in the city of Mobile itself, and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback. And after we started covering not only sports, but general events in the city of Mobile, people are more aware of us. And that's really the most positive thing, the paper has done over the past year and a half, really. As you may or may not know, prior to, say, maybe 2014, the Call News concentrated on North Mobile County, from Chickasaw northward on up to Washington County and Jackson, which is in Clark County. And then the higher-ups had this brilliant idea to start covering a few more things that are going on in the city of Mobile. And once that caught on, we became more of a Mobile paper. We had to fill the void when the Mobile Press Register went to a 3-day-a-week format. As a result of them going through a 3-day-a-week format, there were some things that were missed. So we were able to take up the slack, and it's been a wonderful thing. It really has.
Well, what would you like to let the listeners, when it comes to the Citronelle Call, what would you like for our listeners to know about Citronelle Call? And also, how can they get that Citronelle Call in their hands?
Well, the one thing that they need to know about the Call News is that we are a paper that concentrates a lot on local things, local events. We cover local events more than the average paper in this area. And we've had a whole lot of people tell us that one of the things they liked about the Call News was that it covered more local events than, say, the Mobile Press Register or maybe Lagniappe, to name a couple. And as far as being able to get the paper itself, there are several ways they can get it. We have newspaper racks all over downtown. Well, actually, all over the city, really. We have newspaper racks in West Mobile. We have newspaper racks in Sims. And one particular place downtown where they can get the Call News is right in front of Government Plaza. We have a newspaper rack there. And inside of Government Plaza, where the snack shop is located, we have a newspaper rack there. And also in the downtown post office, which is located on Raw Street, we also have a newspaper rack. And I believe what's going to happen eventually, we're going to wind up with some more, places in Mobile proper where people can get the Call News. Now, if they want to subscribe, all they would have to do is contact the paper itself at area code 251-866-5998.
Can you repeat that?
Okay, I'll be more than happy to. Again, that phone number is area code 251-866-5998.
Okay. Well, thank you, Arthur Mack, and we're glad that you came out to interview with us today.
My pleasure.